Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome again tonight's Master of Ceremonies, Tina Nance.
Good evening, everyone. It is an honor to stand before you tonight as we gather to celebrate aviation's past, present, and future. This evening is more than just a ceremony. It's a tribute to visionaries, pioneers, innovators who have shaped aviation and inspired future generations to dream big and soar higher. In aviation, teamwork is everything, whether it's in the sky or on the ground. Tonight, I have the privilege of being your co-pilot as we take a journey through Kentucky's rich aviation history, honoring those who have dared to push the boundaries of what's possible. Since becoming Kentucky's official Aviation Hall of Fame in 1994, we've had the honor of enshrining more than 100 remarkable individuals whose legacies continue to influence the future of aviation and aerospace. I invite you all to take a moment to explore the Hall of Fame, located just to your right between the two hangars, where the stories of these extraordinary individuals are brought to life. Their stories remind us that history isn't just something we remember. It's something we carry forward with us into the future. Each year, the Kentucky Aviation Achievement Award is given to a group or individual who has shown, through their actions, an outstanding commitment to the preservation or promotion of aviation or aerospace in Kentucky. This year, it will be presented to Epic Flight Academy. Despite Kentucky's thriving aerospace and aviation industry, the looming shortage of skilled workers presents a pressing challenge to its future. This need can only be addressed by investing in the workforce training and education initiatives that focus on developing the skills required for aerospace jobs, and Epic is doing just that. Let's take a moment to learn more about Epic Flight Academy.
What began as a business concentrating on pilot training and FBO services at the airport in New Smyrna Beach, Florida in 1999 is now impacting workforce development in Kentucky. After becoming one of the leading flight training providers, Epic CEO Danny Perna and COO Josh Rawlins, who began their careers as aircraft mechanics, saw that while pilots were in demand, there was a greater need for aviation maintenance technicians, or AMTs. A recent Boeing report on expected workforce trends predicts a shortage of pilots and an even greater need for maintenance technicians. Epic took a proactive step in response by opening its FAA Part 147 aircraft mechanic program at its New Smyrna Beach, Florida location in 2020, demonstrating its commitments to addressing the industry's needs. In 2024, FEAM Aero, the largest leading provider of aircraft maintenance services in the U.S., partnered with Epic as well as the airport to build a training facility at the Cincinnati Northern Kentucky International Airport. FEAM already had a presence at the airport and recognized the need for more aircraft maintenance technicians. They saw Epic as the best partner to train the new workforce, and Kentucky has benefited from this collaboration. Epic's mission is simple yet profound: to empower the next generation of aviation professionals. This mission is reflected in every aspect of Epic's operations, from rigorous training programs to an unwavering emphasis on safety and innovation. But their success is not measured by its facilities alone. It's measured by the impact that it has on students and the aviation industry at large. At the heart of Epic's successes are its instructors, who serve as both teachers and mentors. One of them is Bo Fletcher, a seasoned instructor whose dedication and passion exemplify the values Epic instills in its faculty. Bo's story, like most Epic instructors, is a powerful example of the dedication that defines the Epic Flight Academy. His passion for teaching leaves a lasting impact on his students. For Bo, he goes beyond the standard curriculum, introducing innovative methods that help students grasp complex concepts, and he sees the greatest reward comes when his students succeed, not just in the classroom, but throughout their aviation careers. Epic's faculty is not only experienced in aviation, but is also deeply connected to the industry. Many instructors have worked with leading aviation companies and maintained strong industry ties. These connections provide students with invaluable networking opportunities and often lead to immediate employment upon graduation. The true measure of Epic's success lies in the stories of its students. A student named Jonathan, for example, exemplifies the transformative power of Epic's education. Inspired by his father's military background and a lifelong fascination with aircraft like the B-17 bomber, Jonathan faced significant challenges, including health issues that nearly derailed his dreams. However, with the support of EPIC's faculty and a determination to succeed, Jonathan found his path at EPIC. Today, he is well on his way to becoming a certified aviation mechanic, ready to make his mark in the industry. EPIC Flight Academy is also committed to diversifying the aviation industry by encouraging more women to pursue careers in aviation, including in fields like airframe and power plant (A&P) mechanics. Recognizing that women bring unique strengths such as attention to detail and problem-solving skills, EPIC actively recruits female students and highlights the opportunities available in roles traditionally dominated by men. Female graduates from EPIC have gone on to prestigious positions, including at SpaceX, where they help build rockets, and in companies like Disney and NASCAR, which prefer hiring A&P mechanics for their technical expertise. EPIC's instructors make it a point to reach out to young women, challenging them to consider aviation as a career. This effort is not just theoretical, but practical. One memorable instance saw female students deciding to paint their engines pink as part of their power plant class, a move that quickly went viral online. The pink engines became a symbol of girl power in a field traditionally dominated by men, showcasing the enthusiasm and creativity that women bring to aviation. EPIC's commitments to its students doesn't end at graduation. The Academy's strong ties with major airlines and aviation organizations ensure that students have a clear path to success. These partnerships have led to countless success stories, with EPIC alumni working for leading airlines around the world and contributing to significant advancements in aviation technology. As EPIC looks to the future, it remains dedicated to its founding principles: excellence in education, a passion for aviation, and a commitment to student success. The Academy story is just one of continuous growth and innovation, driven by the belief that the sky is not the limit, it's just the beginning. EPIC is a leader in aviation education, and its students, faculty, alumni, and partners each contribute to make EPIC what it is today, a gateway to the skies and a symbol of what is possible when passion, dedication, and excellence come together. With the tremendous need for pilots and aviation technicians, EPIC is doing its part to support the future development of Kentucky's workforce. It is therefore fitting that EPIC Flight Academy be recognized with the Kentucky Aviation Hall of Fame's 2024 Aviation Achievement Award.
To present this award to EPIC, we have the privilege of welcoming Brad Schwant, Deputy Commissioner of the Kentucky Department of Aviation. Brad has a deep understanding of the invaluable benefits that EPIC brings to the Commonwealth. Brad enjoyed a distinguished 35-year career at UPS before beginning his work in 2019 with the Department of Aviation. While at UPS, he held key leadership roles, including the Director of Maintenance. His aircraft maintenance career began long before that, as he had the opportunity to work on radial engines and perform other line maintenance on the Douglas DC-6. Danny Perna, EPIC's Chief Executive Officer, will be accepting the award tonight on behalf of EPIC Flight Academy. Danny is a third-generation aviator, continuing a remarkable family legacy in aviation. His grandfather began as a flight instructor in a B-17 and rose to the rank of colonel in the U.S. Air Force. His father, a commercial pilot and aviation maintenance technician, dedicated 35 years to Cessna, where he developed international aircraft sales. Danny, following in their footsteps, is also an FAA certified pilot and aircraft mechanic. In 1999, Danny and his wife Amy launched EPIC with a single-use Cessna 152. Back then, Danny handled all the flight training and maintenance, while Amy managed the office. Today, 25 years later, EPIC has grown to 8 locations with a fleet of brand new aircraft, employs over 200 people, and trains pilots and aircraft mechanics from around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brad Schwant.
Thank you. I got a kick out of that pink engine. As a mechanic, I was sitting there looking at it, and I said, wow, that's a really intense dye-penetrant inspection. And so that's a maintenance joke for some of you out there, but they were painting it pink. So So I got a few words to say to introduce Danny Perna. When Epic Flight Academy launched its flight training school 25 years ago, they likely never anticipated opening an aircraft mechanics school in Erlanger, Kentucky at the CVG airport. Yet here we are. Epic successfully opened their first FAA-approved Part 147 aircraft maintenance school in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, after 7 years of researching and working with the FAA. And to make it even more interesting, they launched the school during the pandemic. Clearly, resilience and perseverance are a theme. In late 2021, FEMARO, which is a huge maintenance and repair operation at CVG, urged Epic to consider building an aircraft mechanics school at the CVG airport to handle the growing demand for FAA-certified A&P mechanics. In 2022, the conversations began in earnest, and as Epic tells it, the hospitable folks at CVG rolled out the welcome mat and encouraged them to move forward with this proposition. Epic CEO Danny Perna and COO Josh Rollins brought team members to CVG on a regular basis to meet, plan, and get started on this ambitious project. On April 17th, 2023, Epic broke ground on the 32,000 square foot building, and 1 year later, the grand opening was held on April 22nd, this year, 2024. The $8 million building includes approximately 15,000 square feet of hangar and training area, 17,000 square feet of classrooms and finished office space. There are 10 classrooms, a library, break rooms, a cafeteria, and 6 private offices. There is parking for 278 vehicles for students and staff, and if you haven't had a chance to visit the school, you should. It's a world-class A&P facility. But perhaps the most important number of all is 54. 54 is the number of aircraft mechanics students currently enrolled. Most of the students are from the local area, and all are on their way to exciting careers in aviation and aerospace industry. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear said at the time, "Workforce development is the most important and proactive step we can take for the future of Kentucky's economy." He was right, and these 54 students are now part of this vital workforce development. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported the 2023 median annual pay for aircraft mechanics was $75,000. They also report that there is a shortage of aircraft mechanics with more than 13,000 positions opening each year for the next 10 years. Other industry projections show even more shortages. Regardless of the specific statistic, the output from aviation maintenance training facilities like Epic's is falling at least 30% short of what is needed to meet the growing demand of aviation. In other words, help us spread the word that Epic Flight Academy is open for business at the Cincinnati Northern Kentucky International Airport and is ready to train the next generation of FAA-certified mechanics. This Epic school can accommodate 250 students, so there's capacity and they are welcoming new cohorts. The next class will begin on December 9th of this year, and there are 6 start dates scheduled for 2025. And if you didn't know, it only takes a new student 19 months to complete the program and graduate as a fully licensed aircraft mechanic. A small investment for a lifetime of opportunity and tremendous award. Come on up. So I'd like to introduce Danny Perna, the CEO of Epic Flight Academy. Thank you. And I think there's going to be some words.
Ladies and gentlemen, Danny Perna is receiving the plaque to honor the Epic Flight Academy for the Aviation Achievement Award.
Well, good evening, everybody. Thanks for the kind words, Brad, and Museum, thanks for having me here this evening. It's a true honor. I got 2 quick stories, kind of both of them parallel and simultaneous, how we got here and kind of like a reflection of the journey. My daughter graduated high school in 2021 and went on to Oglethorpe University, in Atlanta, Georgia. She continued her academics and she played college basketball. At the completion of her sophomore year, or the beginning of her sophomore year, she came to her mother and I, and she said she wasn't a big fan of the big city, and Oglethorpe wasn't the right fit for her. She completed her sophomore year playing basketball and immediately entered the portal. That same year, FEAM Aero contacted Epic Flight Academy in New Smyrna Beach. FEAM's headquarters are in Miami, and they were rapidly growing a large operation in Kentucky. They contacted us for the need to train mechanics going into their MRO. After one trip to CVG, meeting with Candace McGraw, the CEO of the CVG airport, we decided to forge forward and start the mechanic school. Fast forward till today, my daughter's here in the crowd. She now goes to Center College, and her and her friend, Bailey Rucker, are starting their senior year in basketball. The similarity in the stories are, we're lucky Kentucky found us. And after one meeting with the airport manager, Candace, we didn't do an extensive research. It just felt right. And although it's a true honor to be up here to receive this award, the true recipient of this award, and my daughter and I speak of this frequently, are the people of Kentucky. The school in Kentucky is trending rapidly to be much bigger than the school in Florida. And that's nothing that Epic did. That is a true reflection of the Kentuckians, the culture, the love, the dedication that we've never experienced before. We have constant tours coming through the facility, the museum bringing 700 young people. So I truly thank everybody for this, to accept this award and be here, but I thank Kentucky for welcoming the Perna family and Epic to be part of the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad, and thank you, Danny, for the work you're doing to support the Commonwealth. Now let us honor those Kentuckians who have been elected for enshrinement into the Kentucky Aviation Hall of Fame. By their work, their leadership, and perseverance, they have furthered the Commonwealth's contributions to aviation and aerospace. Ladies and gentlemen, our first enshrinee is the late Ralph G. Anderson. Ralph was a visionary, engineer, entrepreneur, and a philanthropist. From humble beginnings on a Kentucky farm, he built Belkin Corporation into a global leader in engineering services. A World War II veteran and passionate about education, Ralph's enduring legacy continues to inspire future generations of engineers and innovators. Let us take a moment to learn more about Ralph G. Anderson.
Ralph G. Anderson, a visionary engineer, entrepreneur, and philanthropist, was born in Harrodsburg, Kentucky in 1923. From humble beginnings on a farm in Kentucky, Ralph would go on to build one of the world's most influential engineering services companies, Belkin Corporation. Anderson began his journey into the engineering world by working on the family farm. He had a love for machinery and a fascination for how things worked. This passion grew stronger throughout his school years, graduating from Harrisburg High School in 1941. After graduation, Ralph longed for a better job. He moved to Cincinnati, Ohio, where he began working for the Curtiss Wright Aircraft Company. Here, Ralph's engineering talent quickly became evident. He was tasked with cutting gears, a job he excelled at by streamlining the process and producing stronger, more reliable components. Despite his success, Ralph felt a greater calling and, in 1943, enlisted in the United States Army Air Forces to serve in World War II. Returning from the war in 1946, Ralph enrolled at the University of Cincinnati, taking advantage of the GI Bill to pursue his passion for engineering. However, the high cost of tuition led him to transfer to the University of Kentucky, where he earned his degree in mechanical engineering in 1950. It was during these years that Ralph's life took a significant turn. While working at Armco Steel, he met Ruth Mae Tucker, a bright and talented woman he would marry in 1948. Ruth played an instrumental role in Ralph's early career, helping to manage their finances and providing unwavering support as Ralph began his postgraduate journey. In 1953, Ralph joined the Kett Corporation, where he met Carl Shackle. Shackle's leadership style deeply influenced Ralph's approach to business. Shackle believed in empowering his employees to use their skills and creativity, a philosophy Ralph would carry throughout his career. As Ralph gained experience in the aerospace industry, he knew he was destined to start his own business. In 1958, Ralph felt the time had come to take that leap. With a wealth of experience, a deep understanding of engineering, and a strong network of industry contacts, Ralph and Ruth founded Belcan Corporation. The name Belcan was a creative blend of their daughter Candace's and her friend Belinda's names, symbolizing the family's integral role in the company's foundation. Starting with a modest office in Cincinnati, Ralph and Ruth poured their energy into building Belcan from the ground up. Ruth, who had always managed the family's finances, became the company's office manager and bookkeeper, while Ralph focused on securing contracts and building relationships with clients. Their partnership perfectly blended Ralph's visionary leadership and Ruth's organizational prowess. In the early 1960s, Belcan had secured major contracts with leading aerospace companies, providing engineering services for gas turbine engines, a testament to Ralph's reputation and expertise. Ralph's management philosophy was simple, yet profound: focus on people. He believed the key to success was building strong personal relationships with both employees and clients. He sometimes referred to it simply as management by wandering around. In the 1970s, Belcan had become a formidable engineering services firm committed to excellence. Ralph formalized the company's values in the Belcan Charter, a set of principles emphasizing customer service, respect for individuals, and the importance of maintaining a positive attitude. These values were not just words on paper, they were the foundation of Belcan's success and a reflection of Ralph's personal beliefs. As Belcan expanded, Ralph always remembered the importance of education and giving back to the community. He passionately supported engineering education, donating funds to the University of Kentucky and other institutions. His contributions helped build the Ralph G. Anderson Mechanical Engineering Building at the University of Kentucky, and he provided scholarships to countless students, ensuring that future generations would have the opportunities he cherished. Ralph's achievements did not go unnoticed. He received numerous honors throughout his life, including the UK College of Engineering Outstanding Alumnus Award, induction into the UK College of Engineering Hall of Distinction, and the UK Hall of Distinguished Alumni. Ralph Anderson passed away in 2010 at the age of 86. He was predeceased by his beloved wife Ruth, who passed away in 2006, and was survived by his daughter Candace. His legacy lives on through Belcan, a company that continues to be a leader in the aerospace and defense industries, providing engineering, manufacturing, and workforce solutions to clients worldwide. His life story is a testament to the power of perseverance and the importance of family, along with the impact that one individual can have on an entire industry. Ralph's journey from a small town in Kentucky to the helm of a global engineering firm is an inspiring example of what can be achieved with vision, determination, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. It is therefore fitting that Ralph Anderson be enshrined into the Kentucky Aviation Hall of Fame.
Here to receive the award on behalf of Belcan and the family is Lance Kwanuski. Lance is the CEO of Belcan, a global supplier of design, software, manufacturing, supply chain, information technology, and digital engineering solutions to the aerospace, defense, space, government services, automotive, and industrial markets. He has 30 years of leadership within the construction, industrial equipment, and service industries, including 26 years with Belcan. Lance spent 3 years working closely with Ralph before his passing, appreciating and learning from his strong leadership and business skills. Ladies and gentlemen, Lance Kwanuski.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lance Kwanuski is now receiving the medallion inscribed in the name of Ralph G. Anderson, who is now declared duly enshrined in the Kentucky Aviation Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I still get fired up when I see Ralph's picture. Vicki and I were just joking. Vicki Jenkins down here was Mr. Anderson's assistant for 10 years and has been my assistant for the last 10 years as CEO. So we were chit-chatting about, okay, what are the stories about Mr. A that we can tell? And unfortunately, all the same stories came to mind, which are ones we can't really repeat tonight. Let's just say he was sporty. He loved life. He was so fun to work with. And I worked closely with him for 3 years in senior leadership. but I knew him for quite a long time, working with him in various positions, and I'm absolutely honored to be here to accept this on his behalf. And congratulations to everyone else who's being inducted, and epic, just epic. I mean, unbelievable what you're doing in the industry. As I sit on AIA's Board of Governors in Washington, D.C., it's the biggest gap is creating the trade skills. So thank you for everything you're doing. It's really amazing what we're doing in the industry. But, you know, we covered a lot of what he did professionally, but I just want to share with you a couple of nuggets of the kinds of things that Belcan does. So, I'm sorry, Mark Rhodes is here, was on the F-136, but on the F-135 engine, the front fan is the Belcan fan. So you're talking about one of the most advanced engines in the world. That is the company that he built. That's the kind of work that we produce. The A350, the wing, an advanced wing of tomorrow, think about that, what Airbus is doing. So advanced composite structures. And now in the space industry with the BE-4 engine, that's the company he built, really remarkable work that we do, and we're incredibly proud of that. And that came from his passion that he instilled into us. But I'm not going to share a lot about his professional career, but wanted to share a couple nuggets. So we had about 12 different nuggets that we kind of came up with. And the first one is just the gifts he gave us. And the first gift that he gave us was really about winning. He loved winning more than any. It didn't matter if it was Kentucky basketball, football, didn't matter if it was the Bengals, whatever it was, he loved winning. And he made winning fun. And I'll share a little story. When I was up and coming, this is quite some time ago, but I had an opportunity to win a big major contract with Rolls-Royce. And I went in his office to kind of sounding board it through, saying, hey, I think we can win this thing. If we discount this thing, I think it was like $2.68, we're going to win this thing. He goes, I don't know. I don't think we can do it. I think you need to go at least 3 times more than that. And I said, no, Mr. A, I think I can get this. He goes, well, if you get it at 268, I'll kiss your butt. You know, said a different word. So anyway, about a week later, I come back, and I peek my head around the corner into his office, and I said, pucker up. And Ralph was like 82. So he chases me down the hall. This is the enthusiasm. That's how much he loved to win. He chased me down the hall. I was afraid he was going to like live up to his promise, so I was like getting out of there. But anyway, he wanted to just give me a high five for getting the deal done. He made winning fun. That's a gift that he gave all of us, and it's still part of our DNA. The second real thing that came to mind was the power of positive thinking. And Vicki knows this. He read everything possible, anything you could ever imagine around it. And I'm kind of dating it because he had a cassette player, so he put the cassette tapes in, and he listened to it no matter what. But he instilled that in the organization. And if you saw him anywhere in the break room wandering around like the video said, you asked him, Ralph, how you doing? Tremendous. He said tremendous every single time. We would go visit him in the hospital when he was ill, and he'd have to sign things for us, and he'd say tremendous. He had this uplifting spirit and a unique way of brightening up your day, and it absolutely lives within all of us today. It was a gift that he gave us. But not only did he do that by words, he would do it with this unique, how do I say it, there's a sparkle in his eye. I don't know if you've met these people, but they look at you, and they instill confidence in everything you touch after that. In fact, about 20 years ago, I was a young up-and-coming employee at Belcan, and he just came to my office one day, just looked at me and says, you're going to run the place. I couldn't run anything at the time. It was amazing, but he convinced me that I had it in me to do it. He had this ability to do that, and that was an absolute gift that really propelled me to run the business here for the last 10 years. But his biggest gift was generosity by an order of magnitude. And, you know, a good friend of mine told me, you know, you spend about a third of your life learning, about a third earning, and a third returning. Well, this certainly holds true with Mr. A, but here we are nearly 15 years later after his death, and he's still returning. People sitting at the table over there went to the University of Kentucky that has the Ralph G. Anderson name on it. They're working in his engineering firm here in Lexington, Kentucky, working on the presidential helicopter. They're going to parks still today that Mr. Anderson built for this community. And more than that, this brought us together as a community, and he's still giving with his power of positive thinking and his heart-centered approach, which I really think was his biggest strength. So I want to thank everyone for recognizing Mr. Anderson today, really a true legend and my hero. But I really want to thank Mr. Anderson for all the gifts he left, especially in a time where we need more hope. He always had this saying, miracles only take 3 days longer than the impossible. And we all need a little bit more of that today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lance. While Sidney Park became renowned for his work as an aerial photographer, he wasn't the first to capture the world from above. That honor belongs to a Frenchman who in 1858 took the first ever aerial photograph from a tethered hot air balloon overlooking a small French village. Since then, aerial photography has come a long way, and much of that progress is thanks to pioneers like our next enshrinee, whose work has left a lasting impact on the evolution of this incredible technology. Let's take a few moments to look at the life and accomplishments of W. Sidney Park.
In the annals of aviation history, few names shine as brightly as Wallace Sidney Park. Born in Louisville in May 1898, Sid Park's life was marked by a pioneering spirit and a deep passion for both aviation and aerial photography. His journey began at Bowman Field, Kentucky's first commercial airport, where his story intertwined with the early days of aviation. Bowman Field, established in 1921, was the brainchild of Abram H. Bowman, Robert H. Gast, and W. Sidney Park. This historic airfield became a cornerstone of Louisville's aviation scene thanks to the efforts of these visionaries. Sidney Park, with his boundless enthusiasm for flying, joined forces with Bowman in 1921 to form the Bowman Park Aero Company. This partnership marked the beginning of Park's monumental career in aerial photography. From the outset, Sid's work was marked by innovation and dedication. His early forays into aerial photography were characterized by modest yet groundbreaking tools, a Canadian Jenny aircraft, and a handheld 4x5-inch camera. Despite the simplicity of his equipment, Sid's vision was anything but limited. He saw the potential of combining his love for flying with the emerging field of aerial photography. In 1921, Sid and Bowman embarked on a project with the Louisville Gas and Electric Company, capturing progress photos of the plant's new construction. This early contract was a testament to the value of aerial imagery in documenting and planning. As technology advanced, so did Sid's techniques. He transitioned from handheld cameras to more sophisticated K5 cameras with 7x9-inch formats and focal plane shutters, reflecting his commitment to improving the accuracy and quality of aerial photography. Sid's innovation did not stop at the camera. Recognizing the importance of supporting the aviation industry, he convinced Abe Bowman to establish an Air Corps Reserve Squadron at Bowman Field in 1922. This squadron breathed new life into the airfield and played a crucial role in its continued operation. It was clear that Sid Park was not only a pioneer in aerial photography, but also a dedicated supporter of aviation advancement. The late 1920s saw another significant milestone in Sid's career. Under a contract with the Louisville District Corps of Engineers in 1928, Bowman Park Aero Company undertook the task of mapping approximately 1,500 square miles of the White, Wabash, and Eel Rivers in Indiana. This project showcased Sid's growing expertise in topographic mapping and laid the foundation for what would become Park Aerial Surveys. As the demand for aerial photography grew, so did Sid's innovations. In the 1940s, with increasing needs from the U.S. Geological Survey and the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Sid took it upon himself to design and build more accurate aerial cameras. His efforts led to the creation of cameras with a 9x9-inch format and rotary shutters, setting new standards for precision and reliability in aerial imaging. Sid's ingenuity extended beyond camera design. He developed a photo trainer to assist in the rapid training of aerial photographers during World War II. This device simulated the experience of aerial photography, helping trainees master essential skills without the cost and logistics of actual flights. His contributions during the war were instrumental in supporting the military's efforts and underscored his commitment to advancing the field of aerial photography. Post-war, Sid Park's leadership continued to shape Park Aerial Surveys. His decision to employ husband-wife pilot photographer teams proved highly effective, creating a stable and dedicated workforce. This approach not only enhanced operational efficiency, but also fostered a close-knit work environment that minimized turnover and maximized productivity. Sid's contributions to aerial photography were not limited to technological advancements either. His commitment to quality and service was evident in every aspect of his work. Park aerial surveys became renowned for its meticulous approach to mapping and surveying, with Sid's innovative methods setting benchmarks in the industry. His company handles some of the most comprehensive and challenging projects, including extensive geodetic control for Kentucky's highways and complex aerial inventories for the Peabody Coal Company. Sid Park's impact extended beyond the technical realm. His involvement with the Aero Club of Louisville and his recognition as Distinguished Citizen of Louisville highlighted his broader influence on the aviation community. Sid's dedication to aviation and his contributions to the field were celebrated by his peers and the city he loved. In the words of Russell K. Bean, who presented Sid with the honorary membership award of the American Society of Photogrammetry, Sid was the complete photogrammetrist. His ability to design, build, and operate every facet of aerial photography, from cameras and mounts to processing and surveying, demonstrated his unparalleled expertise and commitment to the field. Reflecting on his career, Sid once said, "My ambition was never to be the fastest or most aerobatic pilot. It was to be the oldest pilot." In achieving this, Sid Park left an indelible mark on both the skies and the world below. His legacy lives on in the advancements he pioneered and the standards he set for the field of aerial photography. W. Sidney Park's life was a testament to the transformative power of passion and innovation. His unwavering dedication to excellence and his pioneering spirit continues to inspire generations of aerial photographers and aviators. As we look back on his remarkable career, we honor the man who forever changed the way we see and understand our world from above. Sid Park's story is one of vision, perseverance, and a relentless quest for excellence. His contributions to aerial photogrammetry and aviation have left a lasting legacy, ensuring that his name will be remembered with admiration and respect for generations to come. It is therefore fitting that Wallace Sidney Park be enshrined into the Kentucky Aviation Hall of Fame.
As you saw in the video, Sid Park's legacy extends far beyond photography. He played a key role in establishing several now historic airports and understood the importance of bringing people together. That vision led him to help found the Aero Club of Louisville, the oldest continuously operating aero club in the United States, celebrating 102 years of operation. Tonight, we're honored to welcome the Aero Club president, Frank Hatfield, and the treasurer, Jeff Miller, who will accept this award on behalf of Sid Park. Although Mr. Park has no remaining family, we're proud that his medallion and Hall of Fame plaque will find a permanent home at the Aero Club. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Jeff Miller.
Thank you all very much. Hello, my name is Jeff Miller. I'm the treasurer of the Aero Club of Louisville. Accepting enshrinement on behalf of Sidney Park, the president of the United States, president of Aero Club, Mr. Hatfield. Sorry, I'm not normally do this stuff. Frank has served as president for the last 8 years. It's fitting that we're representing the Aero Club since Sidney Park was one of the original founders of the Aero Club. Park's wife, Margaret J. Joseph, was one of the first secretaries at Aero Club and served as secretary for 8 years, helping establish the record of the oldest in the country. Parks always joked every once in a while that his wife did all the work and he got all the credit. Well, I do all the work and Frank gets all the credit. In regards, anyway, I'm honoring Sid and all the dedication to the field of aviation, accepting the enshrinement on behalf of Sidney Park as the president of the Aero Club of Louisville. I give you Mr. Frank Hatfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frank Hatfield is now receiving the medallion inscribed in the name of W. Sidney Parks, who is now declared duly enshrined in the Kentucky Aviation Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. I'm honored to have been asked to accept this enshrinement into the Kentucky Aviation Hall of Fame on behalf of Wallace Sidney Park. Sid, as he was universally known, was born in Louisville in 1898. As a young man, he was always interested in flying and had an ambition to fly in World War I. While he was too young to have flown in the war, he did some aerial photography work in the Army Air Corps immediately following the war. It was then that he became interested in combining his two things into the world in his future business career. Photography in the aviation world was what Sid was about. Before his death, Mr. Park addressed an Aero Club audience, summing up his aviation-related accomplishments over a 62-year career in aviation. His ambition was, as we heard in the video, his ambition was never to be the fastest pilot or the most aerobatic pilot. It was to be the oldest pilot, and it looks like I made it, is exactly what he said at the Aero Club. In 1920, when Bowman Field was being planned, Sid Park was one of the few people involved in getting it built. For his part in the project, one of the streets coming into Bowman Field in Louisville is named Sidney Park Drive. Normally, when I go up to the Aero Club, I don't come in off Cannons Lane and Sidney Park Drive. I got to be honest with you, this morning when we rode up to meet, I had to do that. I entered Bowman Field from Sidney Park Drive, and it was absolutely an honor to look up and see his name on that street sign. Wallace Sidney Park was truly a fine gentleman, a credit to our country, to Louisville, and to Bowman Field, and the aviation world. Thank you very much. God bless the future of aviation, and God bless the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'd like to acknowledge Kentucky State Representative Ken Fleming of Louisville, who generously provided images and information that helped bring tonight's video to life. Born in Bowling Green, our final enshrinee rose from humble beginnings to become a distinguished leader in the U.S. Space Force. As Chief of Space Operations, he leads over 14,000 personnel and oversees critical satellite operations, safeguarding the United States' interests in space. Salzman's leadership has been instrumental in shaping the future of America's space defense. Let's take a few moments to review the life and accomplishments of General Chance Salzman.
Born in 1969 to parents Belinda and Randy Saltzman in Davies County, Kentucky, General Chance Saltzman's journey from a small-town boy to the pinnacle of military leadership is remarkable. As the current Chief of Space Operations for the United States Space Force, General Saltzman stands at the forefront of a new era in military history, commanding the nation's newest and most advanced branch of the armed forces. Growing up in Bowling Green, Kentucky, Saltzman was a dedicated student and a formidable athlete known for his quiet leadership and fierce competitive spirit. In 1987, he graduated from Bowling Green High School and set his sights on Boston University, where he earned a Bachelor of Arts degree. His time at Boston was transformative, expanding his worldview and igniting a passion for service that would propel him into the ranks of the United States Air Force. In May 1991, Saltzman graduated with honors and was commissioned as a second lieutenant through the Air Force ROTC program. Over the next 2 decades, Saltzman rose through the ranks, gaining command experience at the squadron, group, and wing levels. He led pivotal units like the 614th Space Operations Squadron and the 1st Space Control Squadron at Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. His operational leadership extended to command of the 460th Operations Group at Buckley Air Force Base in Colorado and the Aerospace Data Facility in Aurora, Colorado. Each assignment further sharpens Saltzman's ability to integrate space-based assets into national defense strategies, preparing him for even greater challenges ahead. In 2016, Saltzman was tapped to spearhead the development of Multi-Domain Command and Control, MDC-2. His work in this area earned him the nickname the Father of Multi-Domain Operations, a revolutionary concept that integrated land, air, sea, space, and cyber operations into a unified strategy. This was a pivotal moment in modern warfare. Saltzman's efforts helped position the U.S. military for success in an increasingly interconnected and complex global battlefield. As a testament to his expertise, Saltzman became the first non-flying officer to serve as the deputy commander of U.S. Air Force's Central Command. His appointment marked a significant departure from tradition and highlighted the growing importance of space and cyber capabilities in modern warfare. Even as the Air Force remained a dominant force in the skies, it was clear that the battlefields of the future would stretch far beyond Earth's atmosphere, and Saltzman was leading that charge. In 2020, Saltzman's career took a historic turn when he transferred from the Air Force into the newly established United States Space Force. Promoted to Lieutenant General, he became the first general officer to be promoted into the Space Force, symbolizing the importance of space warfare expertise in this emerging branch of the military. His new role as the Deputy Chief of Space Operations for Operations Cyber and Nuclear cemented his status as one of Space Force's top leaders responsible for shaping the organization's future. By 2022, Saltzman had risen even further, nominated by President Joe Biden to serve as Space Force's second Chief of Space Operations. Confirmed by the Senate on September 29, 2022, Saltzman took the helm of a service branch still in its infancy, but with enormous strategic importance for the United States. As the Chief of Space Operations, he was tasked with overseeing more than 14,000 active-duty military and civilian members, 77 spacecraft, and 6 military bases across the United States. Under his leadership, the Space Force has taken on the critical mission of defending U.S. interests in space. This domain is increasingly vital for military operations and the global economy. As a member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, he also serves as a key military advisor to the President, the Secretary of Defense, and the National Security Council, helping guide U.S. defense policy in an era where space is increasingly critical to national security and global stability. Saltzman's strategic insights, grounded in decades of operational experience, have earned him respect across the defense community. Saltzman's leadership extends beyond the traditional military structure. He introduced the competitive endurance concept for the Space Force, a strategic framework designed to prevent operational surprise, deny adversaries the first mover advantage, and ensure the U.S. remains dominant in space. His focus on collaboration, innovation, and readiness continues to shape the force into a lean and agile military service prepared to meet the challenges of the 21st century. Though the U.S. Space Force is still in its infancy, Saltzman is acutely aware that his decisions now will have long-lasting effects. He often reflects on the weight of this responsibility, knowing that he and his colleagues are literally building the foundation for a military branch that could define the future of warfare. Outside of his professional achievements, Saltzman is a devoted family man. He married Jennifer Peterson in 1992, and they have 2 children, John and Sarah. Despite the demands of his career, Saltzman has always prioritized his family and his values of service, dedication, and humility that have guided him through every chapter of his life. Chan Saltzman's career, marked by a strategic foresight, operational expertise, and a pioneering spirit, has placed him at the forefront of one of the most significant shifts in military history. As the U.S. Space Force continues to grow, his legacy as one of its key architects will undoubtedly shape the future of space defense for decades to come. It is therefore fitting that Chan Saltzman be enshrined into the Kentucky Aviation Hall of Fame.
We are thrilled to welcome Mrs. Jennifer Saltzman to the stage. Originally from Bowling Green, Kentucky, Ms. Saltzman and General Saltzman were married in 1992. Since that time, Jennifer has been the General's constant partner, raising 2 children, John, now 29, and Sarah, 27. She's a passionate advocate for our nation's service members and is the Space Force's biggest cheerleader. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to welcome the First Lady of the Space Force, Mrs. Jennifer Saltzman.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. Thank you. So again, it's dangerous. I'm going to go off script just a second, just to compliment the visionaries who created the Hall of Fame seal, and they put a delta on it, and they actually put 2 deltas on it. So you can see both of those. So pretty awesome, which is the Space Force symbol. Which again, visionaries. This has been a great night. You have 2 very, very proud Kentuckians joining you, and also congratulations to all the other inductees tonight. Amazing careers and all the things that you've done in aviation. So we are very excited to be here, a little nervous. But just last night, Chance asked me, in my wildest dreams, did I ever think that he would be inducted into a Hall of Fame? To which I responded, Chance, first of all, you are never in my wildest dreams. Nice, thanks. Sorry. But seriously, this honor does not surprise me at all. I've had the privilege of being beside him for the last 32 years in his storied career. I know how much he cares about the mission, and more importantly, how much he cares about the people that do the mission. I've also seen how hard he works to make sure that the mission gets done properly and that the people have what they need to be successful. And because of that, he has had a remarkable career. Maybe not. He's been a distinguished graduate of every training course he's attended. He has been a commander of units 4 times. He's a Harvard graduate. When he was promoted, he was the youngest colonel in the Air Force. He was also the only non-flying officer to ever be selected as the Deputy Air Commander, Component Commander in the Middle East. He was the first general ever promoted into the Space Force. He was the first ever Space Force Chief Operations Officer. He is the senior service chief on the Joint Chiefs of Staff, despite being its youngest member. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce my husband, Chance Saltzman. Or do I get to do this now?
Ladies and gentlemen, Bradley Chance Saltzman is now receiving the medallion inscribed in his name and is now declared duly enshrined in the Kentucky Aviation Hall of Fame.
Wow. She's awesome, huh? Thank you, Jennifer, for that introduction, for being part of this special occasion, but most of all, for agreeing to share this journey with me over the last 32 years. Without your support, I couldn't have done any of this, so thank you. What a tremendous honor, incredibly humbling. It's only right to begin by saying thank you. Thank you to the Kentucky Aviation Hall of Fame Committee, to your lack of judgment, but to all those that were involved in the process. To fellow inductees, amazing. I can't believe I'm here celebrating with some of these pioneers like this. I feel more lucky than worthy to be counted among this group of aerospace and aviation legends. I was born and raised in Kentucky, spent my whole life here, graduated from Bowling Green High, class of 1987. It feels a lot more recent than it probably actually is, but while my career has taken me far from home, Kentucky has never been far from my heart. I still know the plural possessive case of the word you is all y'alls. And in similar fashion, growing up here gave me the opportunity to benefit from the kind of wisdom that you can only find here. Many of you know what I'm talking about, country wisdom. It's not a stretch to say that I owe much of my success to my adherence to country wisdom that I learned here in the Bluegrass State. For example, in my line of work, we must learn to keep a lot of secrets. And to say I get a lot of classified briefings is definitely an understatement. The problem is I also deal with the media a lot, and they're not cleared for that information. So when I'm faced with that situation, I have to lean on the country wisdom, and I remind myself of the old adage, letting the cat out of the bag is a whole lot easier than putting it back in, all right? And there's many more of these, other tidbits that I've come to rely on over the course of my career. Wise little nuggets like, Life is simpler when you plow around the stump. Don't corner something that's meaner than you. And if you get to thinking you're too big for your britches, try ordering somebody else's dog around. And when things get tough, I try and remember that every path has a few puddles, but ain't no need to bang your shin on a stool that ain't in the way. And I'm here to tell you that wisdom that I learned here, that I grew up with, that advice has carried me through. It has, and I'm grounded in those roots very well. But over the course of 33 years in a military career, which has included 16 moves, 6 states, the District of Columbia 4 times, and a full year in Qatar, there's others out there dispensing wisdom, and it ain't as good as sometimes what you get here in Kentucky. Now, don't get me wrong. Along the way, I've met some of the smartest, most patriotic, committed people that the country has. But sometimes they get moving a bit too fast and ahead of themselves, and I guess their brain gets a little disconnected from their mouth. So here are a few of the nuggets that I've absorbed from non-Kentuckians over the years. Someone once told me that they were busier than a one-legged paper hanger. It conjures up the one-armed butt-kicking contest. I don't know how that works, but I've been advised to grab the bull by the reins, and I've been dismissed that train has already set sail. Most recently, I was lectured that although hindsight is 50-50, we should focus on satellite flying because that's our meat and butter. He said, we just need to keep pushing the can down the road and try and tackle the elephant one bite at a time. So in the course of this long and apparently distinguished career, I've used, abused, absorbed, and ignored a lot of this wisdom, but the journey's been remarkable. And the characters all along the way, from my beginnings in Kentucky, some of you are here tonight, that journey's been remarkable. From playing tennis in Kentucky with good friends and all the journeys on the road, all the way to my seat on the Joint Chiefs of Staff. It's just been such a fulfilling journey. Answering our nation's call is not without its costs, but the reward is a special sense of purpose, a unique drive that far exceeds any individual's self-interest. Now, no great journey is undertaken alone, and I've been fortunate to have Jennifer by my side for so long that I can't really remember what it was like otherwise and don't really care to. And I know she'll agree that we've been blessed to share our journey with amazing friends, family, neighbors, co-workers from all walks of life, all of whom taught us something, showed us the way, helped us when we needed help. So what does all that mean? Well, I guess it means that I've come to appreciate that these awards, the honors, the successes, as cool as they are, and this is pretty cool, are not really individual accolades. They're a reflection of all the goodness showed by others, a building of all the teamwork that makes important visions a reality. And they are a collection of other people's wisdom that you had the good sense to follow. We call the members of the Space Force guardians because we are guardians of U.S. interests in space and guardians of our nation's trust. Our guardians solve problems each day that didn't even exist when I first swore my original oath to office. Remember, I joined the Air Force in 1991, and there were more ashtrays on desks than computers back then. So I hope that you share the comforting thought, like I do, knowing that our guardians and the heroes in all the military services have our backs, and they're devoted to not letting anything happen to us while they have the watch. And this is such a fun night. I could talk about the people I've met here tonight. I could talk about the great industry that this is to be a part of. I could talk about it all night. But let me just end by offering the best lessons that I learned growing up in Kentucky. First, be nice. Second, laugh whenever you can. And third, take care of each other. Simple as that. And know that regardless of how far from Kentucky we might roam, we are always bound together by a few things. First, we all know what we'll be doing that first Saturday in May. We know what school we're talking about when we say Go Big Blue. And finally, despite the challenges we face, we know that there's always clarity in a good bottle of Kentucky bourbon. Thank you so much, and as we say in the Space Force, Semper Supra. Thank you.
Thank you, General Salzman and Jennifer, for being with us tonight. We deeply appreciate your ongoing role in safeguarding our nation. Our special thanks to you, ladies and gentlemen, for gathering here this evening to honor Kentucky's best and brightest. Finally, thanks to the class of 2024, Ralph G. Anderson, W. Sidney Park, and General Bradley Chance Salzman, and to our Achievement Award winner, Epic Flight Academy.